Welcome back, everybody. Now, Nokuzola Zoe Makola, also known as iSandi, is a South African singer, songwriter, composer, and instrumentalist. Beyond her musical talents, she is a passionate advocate for the promotion of music literacy, integration, appreciation, and its profound impact on the human experience. She released her first EP titled Intyatyambo on the 6th of May last year and has shared stages with the likes of popular South African bands such as the Muffinz, South African music legend Vusi Mahlasela, Bongezile, Mabandla, and Urban Village, to name a few. iSandi joins us now in studio this morning to tell us more. iSandi, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Such a great pleasure to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure having you.
I'm excited as well.
Right. Good to have you on the show. First of all, just take us through your background, how and when you started in the musical journey.
All right. My love for music, I guess I was born with an inclination that has always been towards music and creativity in general, because I'm not from a musical background at all.
Okay.
But because I grew up in an African household, music is always omnipresent. So I've always been accustomed to music. But the love for my music is actually manifested through creating music. So I'm happy now that I'm sharing that music. So that was actually inspired by my childhood, because I grew up in the Eastern Cape.
Okay.
On a farm, so I grew up being surrounded by, breathtaking landscapes, the views. So I guess that gave me a great sense of imagination, a sense of wonder. So as a result, when I write my music, even still today, I still reflect on those childhood memories. And then I learned how to play instruments from high school because I took music as a subject.
Okay.
Then I continued with it at varsity. So I guess that shows you that music has always been a second heart.
And I understand you are a teacher by profession.
Oh yes, I am. I specialize with music education because I've always, I felt, when I was given an opportunity to study music, I felt, we need to empower our young people.
Yeah, tell me about that. I mean, when you teach music education, what is it that you teach exactly? What do you teach specifically?
Yes, okay. Good question. Music literacy is very broad. I mean, it's all about writing, learning how to write music, how to read music, but it doesn't end there. It's all about enhancing all those skills of music. I'm talking about the listening ability, because, your listening needs to be, advanced. I'm sure when you were young, you probably didn't like some vegetables because your palates were not developed. Yeah. So same with music, you need to develop your listening.
I see.
So we expose them to listening activities. There's singing, there's playing. We also try to teach them how to play instruments. So I teach flute, I teach classical guitar, and So
in short, you don't have to be musically talented to enroll in one of those courses that you teach.
Absolutely, yes, you don't have to. And if you are talented, if you are a natural, you still need to enroll, because as much as you might have passion in music, but you still need to have, high skills in music so that you can contribute in the evolution of music. Okay. So that's my goal eventually, because music is evolving all the time, and we need, as Africans, we've got a rich culture of music, but we need to be part of, preserving our, heritage through writing and so on. So music literacy plays a role.
So what is it that you write about? And in the same breath, you can just tell us, how you would define your sound.
Okay, my music, actually, it offers a very unique sound, very fresh. Okay. I wouldn't even put it under Afro-pop, Afro-jazz. Is difficult because I combine both African elements as well as Western elements due to my Western background in music. So that makes my music to be relatable to anyone. Do you understand what I mean? Like, for example, if you listen to Siyanga Semva, there is a little bit of Latin in it. If you listen to the Minuet for the Dead, there's actually that rock edge in it, because I play the guitar. The guitar is very dominant in my music. Okay. Yes, and I use a lot of finger style. Sure. So that allows me to have those different influences. Yeah. So I would put my music under Afro experimental, maybe.
Experimental, okay.
Yeah, I guess because I push boundaries. I tend to push boundaries and embrace the unexpected. That's how I am.
And you've worked with big names in the industry. I did mention, Vusi Mahlasela, the Muffinz, and so on. So did that help elevate you to where you are today, or is it simply your musical prowess that elevated you to where you are today?
No, absolutely. It absolutely helped me. Remember, I've been knocking doors, and those guys like the Muffinz, they opened doors for me. And because I'm from the education side of things,
yes.
so I had to learn from scratch, you know, the music industry. So those guys, my journey has been educational at the same time. Do you understand what I mean?
Got you.
Yes, so, and to work with people that are extremely talented is just another.
So what is it that you learned about the industry?
Okay, like for example, the business side of things, the technical side of things, the technology, you know, there's some terminology that I didn't even understand what it meant. Yes, and yeah, I think the marketing side of things, you know, I have to, you know, take charge because I'm an independent artist,
yes.
So I do everything by
So
myself.
you impart whatever you've learned on to your students?
Well, yeah. Okay, well, well, unfortunately,
because you're a teacher, you'll always be a teacher.
Yes,
As much as you are an artist, but there's always that teacher
certainly.
element in you.
Certainly, certainly. I guess sometimes do it implicitly. You know, when I bring my stuff, my laptops and everything, you know, they see. You understand? So that's, for them, it's part of learning, you know. It doesn't have to be explicit, you know, the side of the music industry. But I think we need a subject that actually prepares potential artists, you know, for the industry. Because the music curriculum does not necessarily include this part.
That is actually a good idea.
Do you understand what I mean?
I've had this conversation with some artists who told me that artists are not being capacitated, you know, to face some of the challenges. You mentioned marketing, you mentioned the business side of music, and they're only, you know, capacitated to, or rather trained musically, and the other elements they're not exposed to.
They're not exposed to. So if we could only, I don't know, just draft a curriculum pertaining to that, that would be a killer.
That's a good business idea for you as well. That's something you can explore, eh?
Oh, yes, yes, yeah. Any opportunity.
Right,
yeah,
right.
We always grab those opportunities. Any gap, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you currently working on right now?
All right, right now I am working on a collaborative album with a humanitarian organization called RADA that's based in Bryanston. Okay. So I'll be one of the artists that's featured in their album called Unearthed RADA Volume 3.
Right.
So the 3% of the royalties actually go to charity, you know, and different projects, you know, they support that. So working with such an organization it fulfills me because it allows me to use my music as a force for positive change. And my EP, if you listen to my songs, the themes revolve around hope, comfort, you know, and positivity. So I'm in the right space at the moment.
Right.
And a mini project, I'm also busy with a single, you know, just a Xhosa song for Imigidi. You know, Umgidi is a ceremonial, is a ceremony that actually celebrates the boys, the Xhosa boys, when they come back from the mountain.
Yes.
So that is coming. Didiela, it's in the mastering phase now.
Wow, interesting.
Yes.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Lovely chatting to you, Sandy.
Eh?
Great chatting to you.
Oh, okay.
Thank
it was such a pleasure.
I know, right? Time flies, eh?
Yeah.
Well, that was South African singer, songwriter, composer, and instrumentalist Nokuzola Zoe Makola, who goes by the name iSandi. She will be back a little later for her performance. Make sure that you tune in to Morning Live.